Crypto Hotep here with another trading video. We'll be doing some charting today on the crypto compound, and then we'll just go over how we're feeling with the markets with the price action that we've seen this week thus far. It's been very exciting, and it's got me really extremely bullish. As always, guys, these videos are sponsored by the one and only, the good folks at Coinbase. Been using that broker for over 4 years now. It's been my number one broker of choice for crypto. They even have futures now that you can trade. So if you don't have an account, or even if you do, feel free and use the link down in the description to either sign up or link your current account with my referral link. Basically, you'll be supporting the channel, and I'll get some of the transaction fees that Coinbase charges you. I'll get a percentage of those if you use that link, even if you have an account. With that being said, guys, none of this that we talk about is financial advice. Please do your due diligence with crypto, and DYOR, do your own research. So as mentioned, we're going to be charting the DeFi protocol Compound. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Compound is a DeFi protocol which helps with lending and borrowing in the crypto space. Very similar to Aave. So it's an Aave competitor, if you will. But with that being said, we are long-term traders, or at least I am. So I typically will stay on that weekly time frame. I like the weekly levels. The weekly levels somewhat stick with price action for me. And it's a little bit more laid back approach, as well as I can see the candles each week form as we go along in the week. So I don't have to really make hasty decisions on what I'm going to do. I can kind of let price action do what it does. And then towards the end of the week, I can see where that candle is and make my decision from there. With that being said, if I'm looking to chart Compound here, what I'm going to do is and one other thing, we are using, as a reminder, we are using Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. And then we do have our RSI indicator at the top here. This purple line is also the 50 MA. This orange line would be the 200 MA. There's not a lot of price action for the 200 MA or moving average. But the first thing I do when I'm drawing out key levels is I actually basically scroll the chart in like this. And then I stop it when it looks somewhat like this, and I'll bring this down just a little bit. This makes it a little clearer to point out to me distinct levels or weekly levels to identify. And I'm looking for support and resistance levels. So somewhere right here, I like this level here. This has been touched multiple times. I like this level here. This has been rejected multiple times. I like this level here. Looks like it's a flip level, meaning that we have a flip level in my book is a level that's used as both support and resistance. So you can see support here, here, and here, and then we have resistance here and here. Okay. And then here we have a little bit of support and resistance here. And we can kind of trim this up just a little bit, make it look a little better here. So we have resistance, support, resistance, and then a little support here. So as well as this, you can count this wick as supported off here. And we'll do one more. We'll do this here. You can see that's resistance, or I should say support. Support. This would be support too. Didn't really fully break down. And if I want to, I can stretch this down here so it gets this wick in for resistance. Okay. I try to get as many data points as I can with my levels. And then after I get those, after I draw those boxes to identify, then I bring my chart and I put it in regular mode so I can view these levels and then make any adjustments that I need to. So let's look here. Let's see if I need to make any adjustments with this. This level looks pretty good. I'm good with this level here. Let's look at this level. This level's fine. This level's okay. I'm good with that. That comes up there. That's completely fine. Here. Here. And here, that acted as support for that price to bounce. That's fine. And then here, and here. Okay. So actually pretty good. Let me see. We may just kind of move this up just a tad here. Okay. And then I usually color code my flipped areas here. This is a flipped area, and as a reminder, flipped area uses as support and resistance. So here and here. Okay. And so let's scroll this out just a little bit so we can see. So basically what price is telling me here is, if we look at the chart around May 2021, we hit a top. We can see price cascading all the way down to the bottom, which at that point was 26.20 for compound. Then price has just been chopping around in this area for some time now. Okay, so basically just a range. This is just ranging price action. You legit could have taken multiple trades here and with one just trading the range. Okay, we can also see that if you correspond this with the RSI, this was a bottom, this was bottom, this was bottom here as well. So next, what I would do is I would point out a liquidity area that I've seen price draw to several times. So what I mean is a long wick area that price has gravitated towards and then rejected from. So something like this area here, I would have drawn that. Why? Because this was a long wick down, and then that came up, and then price came up from that. As you can see here, price in 2023 swept this liquidity area here and then came back up, and price is yet to do anything as of right now. Another area here, I would say this would be another area for a liquidity move as well here. Now for this liquidity area to be negated, price would have to start trading down this area for, I would say, two candles, and price would have to be trading down below this area. If price breaks this area here but just sweeps it, and by sweep I mean just having a long candlestick just to grab all that liquidity, then I don't consider that broken in my eye. There is another liquidity area right here, I would say. Why? Well, a couple reasons. We have a long wick down. You also have kind of equal lows right here where price hasn't broken down, but it's somewhat on the same level as the previous low. So I would mark that down as well. And then we will also mark this down here. Let's make sure we highlight this here. Here. Okay, so we have two levels that we can notice here for liquidity. Now recently, price came down here in August, swept this low, and then now we're still in this little choppy range right here. So do I know exactly what price is going to do? No, but from previous price action, we can see that price, once it swept the low, it essentially came back up and started moving back upward. Now seems a little bit different where price is stuck in this little ranging pattern, but anything could happen here. You also have your 50 MA where you're coming in contact with that as well. So I think we still have moves to the upside just because we have price here that has swept this liquidity level. So I'm still bullish here on compound. Now, another thing I look at is the RSI up top. One of my rules to myself that I have is if the RSI below 50, that's usually a good area to buy in at a key level. Could price go below that? Absolutely. But typically, if we're below the 50 and price is at a key level, then I don't mind starting a position or buying into that crypto. Now, if we get above that 50, now price becomes a little bit expensive for me, and I would be looking to sell around this red area here. So if we look at what price did before, when price reached this red area, which is, I've changed mine, this is the 70 mark. You can see price, if you align this top here with this top, you can see after price made this move here, we came down, right? So we came down to around 35. Then price came back up, went past 70 again, and then came back down right to 35 again. So that's when we have price moving past that 50 level, I always have to tell myself that now this crypto is getting particularly expensive. So we want to make sure that we're looking at areas where to sell at. And you correspond this, you can't just use RSI. So you correspond the top of that RSI with the top of a key level as well and combine both of those factors. So with this, what I would say is in the short term here, I would draw out a downtrend just as confluence. So a downtrend here, I would use my parallel channel tool here. And basically I'm trying to connect 2 or more points with this. Let's see. Sometimes it acts right, sometimes it doesn't. So something like this, I would be comfortable with that. And then I always like to connect 2 or 3 points on the bottom side of the channel as well. So something along these lines here. So we're looking at somewhat of a short-term downtrend. Price has leveled out in this 35 area again. And so I wouldn't mind starting a position if I had to with compound here because it's a decent enough price. What I would be looking at and what I would be prepared to is I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket because I would be prepared to have price drop down to your 35 level or at an extreme case drop down to your 26, 25 level, your 25, 26 level right here. Okay. And then lastly, what I will always do other than this, I also look at chart patterns. So double bottoms, double tops, falling wedges, descending wedges, those type of things. I'm not seeing that in here because it's a lot of choppy price action. It's a lot of just kind of up and down movement. But I also mark out the highs for that year. So if we're looking at a yearly high, here's your yearly high for 2024 that you would be looking to target if you were taking a position. Because if you look at here, once we bottomed out here and here, price went quickly and took 23's high right here and then created another high, which was just swept here from 2023. It was just swept in 2024 here in March. And so my thought process with price here is price may do something like this where we do a little bit more choppiness and we may do something like this, like an inverse head and shoulders, and then come back up for those highs up top here. You know, if price solidifies here, we may dip down a little bit here and grab a couple of these lows here before we move up before we snatch that 2024 yearly high. Okay. But as always, guys, we will jump quickly into the crypto market here. Starting with the GOAT, Bitcoin here. Bitcoin's looking pretty good. So again, we have a bullish flag. bullish flag pattern right here. Very easy to see. And I wrote myself a note. Currently, we are breaking out of this channel, and this was at the beginning of the week when I noticed this. If you go to the daily time frame, I know we normally stay on the weekly, but if you go to the daily time frame to zoom in a little bit, you will see we have broken out of this channel. There is resistance here. There's a lot of resistance here at this level here. So be prepared for a rejection, potentially to come back at the top of this channel, back to 63, maybe 62, and then that could be the trampoline that then sends price. So just be mindful of that. If we don't get that quote unquote God candle, we may come back down here to then go back up, which is completely fine. Otherwise, I mean, I think the bears are done. If I'm being truthfully and honest with you, I think the bears are done. I think we are starting to ramp up and have a lot of momentum. Even on the RSI, we reclaimed the 50 RSI. As you can see, we've been playing around in the RSI where we've pushed up, dipped below, pushed up, dipped below, pushed up. And then we finally have solidified at the level for a bounce back off of that 50. This is what you want to see. When you see a bounce, when you see price bouncing back off that 50, that means there is an uptrend intact still. Very similarly, right here, what happened last year around September, October, also in that quote unquote very ironic. So that's on Bitcoin. Ethereum's kind of just doing the Ethereum thing. I'm waiting until we get to about 2,800 right here, because very similarly to Bitcoin, we're looking for a push out of this channel. We have yet to get a break out of the channel with Ethereum. It's very slow. Ethereum has created somewhat of support on the RSI around, I would call this 38, maybe 38, 37 here, which it has held. But we need to see more bullish price action, a break out of this channel, and then very similarly, once price hits the key level, bounce off of this channel, and then we can get to the yearly highs. Okay. The dollar and the Dixie, very interesting. I will say this is very interesting, only because the dollar's pumping and it's in the green, but then also crypto's pumping. It's a very odd combination here. Even though that is so, we do have moving averages. So the dollar did clear the 200 MA, which is this orange line. The 50 MA is this purple line, and it's currently battling with that 50 moving average, 50-day moving average right here, or 50-week moving average, I should say, right here. Okay. I still am hoping for a breakdown of the dollar here, but it's very odd. This didn't surprise me. The bullish move didn't surprise me because, again, if you look on the RSI, dollar was extremely oversold levels right here, extremely. So a bounce was needed, and I was expecting that. I was thinking more of like a dead cat bounce. I wasn't thinking these two candles with no wicks on them to be produced, but hey, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens once it gets with that 50 MA. The altcoin market. The altcoin market, very similarly, we have a bullish flag here, but we have broken out and we have retested. So this is what a retest looks like when you break out. So you break out and you fully close above that breakout, only to retest at the top of the channel right here. So again, if you zoom in on the daily, you'll see what we're talking about, where price broke out, met by resistance, only to come back at the top perfectly and then bounce back. So we just need a little bit more volume, and it looks like that volume's decreasing a little bit, but we want to see a little bit more volume here. We did create this low right here that I did mark out. Looks like for some little liquidity here. We'll see how that lasts, but I did want to mark that out here. Okay, and I think other than that, we are it, or that is it, I should say. The trades that we are in on the altcoin portfolio, we are in Doge. Doge looks good to me. It looks very good. I would not be fading Doge right now. We broke out of this downtrend. We're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place between these two key levels. But the volume looks good on Doge. Again, you look at the daily charts. Yeah, it looks great. Doge looks good. That's a double bottom right there. So that Doge looks very good. Link, one of the most hated coins in crypto. Whether you love it or hate it, the chart speaks for itself. Consolidation, distribution right here, and now we traded back into this downtrend channel, but price looks to have stabilized. We did buy some more Link here, and this is my route of path, or this is my route, I should say, for Link here. Matic looks very ugly, very ugly, and when the charts look ugly, that's usually a good time to buy. Matic has lost over 70% of its value from the yearly high. That means a fantastic buying opportunity for me. It's at a low that hasn't been seen since 2022. Originally, has had these lows in from the beginning at 2021. So for me, I think that's a fantastic buying opportunity, and we've been buying in this area since August for Matic. So not really upset at these levels. I feel good about them, and we will just be waiting. XLM, one of the dinosaurs here, coins. Very, very similar process as with Link. Kind of choppy price action, stuck between a rock and a hard place, kind of just going up and down. We did somewhat break out of the downtrend. Didn't break fully where we had a leg up, but it did break out. So prices stabilized. So now we're looking potentially for us getting this move or this leg up here. So, but I think that's it, guys. And as always, if you want to see anything or want me to explain anything further, feel free to like, subscribe, and comment, and let me know what you think. But as always, guys, thank you and happy trading.